Happy Friday, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning back in once again, and let's get right into another recap. So today, unfortunately, was a red day. If you guys saw the thumbnail, definitely a managed red day, so grateful about that. And yeah, it's pretty exciting, right? We just finished off our first trading week of the year, and although I was red today, I'm very fortunate enough to still say that I was green on the week, so very blessed for that. And yeah, just to get into it, I was down $26 on SQs and up 16 on TQ. So I was down right around $10 on the day, and here were all my filled orders. Right around the usual number I have, right around 250 filled orders. I always have kind of around that number. And yeah, I just want to get right into it and talk to you guys about the market today, the NASDAQ. So this was where the market was opening today, right here at 6:30 in the morning. It was trending between the middle VWAP and top VWAP. And right when it opened up, as you guys can tell from looking at the chart, we basically did see a little flush down, and the NASDAQ did bounce off the middle VWAP, try to go for a nice little move up for TQQQ, but ultimately it couldn't hold this direction, and we ended up kind of getting a quick change of direction with this big red candle, and ultimately that type of panic led to a big little sell-off, right? The market was just selling off all the big tech stocks, and I actually woke up a little late today, so I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about my first trade, because it was actually a green trade, and it was a pretty solid one, which is very unfortunate on why I couldn't end green today, but it was basically right around here at the break below here. So once I saw the market starting to sell off, right, pretty aggressively below this blue EMA line, I wanted to do my part in going with the direction. And the current direction, right, when I'm deciding to get in, is that the market is falling. So I want to get into SQQQ, which it's the exact inverse ETF of this, and it acts in direct opposite of it. So when the NASDAQ falls, SQQQ right here will push up. It'll act in direct opposite of it. So basically, I decided to want to get into SQQQ because I saw we did change direction and we didn't want to keep pushing up. And when I saw a break below this middle VWAP, and specifically when the NASDAQ broke below the support it just had, I got in with a quarter, and as it started to fall below it, I averaged in fully with my full position. So if I show you guys my first trade of the day, as you guys can tell, it was on SQQQ. I bought in with a quarter. I can show you these are the exact price ranges, and I averaged up when I saw it breaking below that support like I just showed you. And I was able to write it up for a nice little profit, right? I sold for around 22 cents profit, and I was actually up over $50 if I remember right on that trade alone. So started the day off nicely, and where I went wrong and where I've definitely been going wrong, I don't know if a lot of you guys can relate to this, but I usually always trade when I shouldn't be, when there ends up being some type of chop. So usually after a big move like this, let's say a big move to the downside when the NASDAQ fell, after a large move there usually tends to be some type of kind of chop, meaning the market isn't going to be as clear whether it wants to go up or down, right? Whether it wants to continue falling or try and find a support and go back up. So in my opinion today, I just did a really bad part in going with direction. Once I saw direction wanted to change, right, and start trending above this blue EMA line here, I kept trying to get into plays for SQQQ, right? Even as we kept pushing up here, I kept thinking that just because the market was nearing the top VWAP, that it was going to become more overbought, and I would buy into SQQQs thinking it had to fall. Or not really had to fall, but I really kept thinking it was going to keep doing that because it was struggling, right? When it pushes up here, you can see some red candles in here, meaning it was struggling, and I didn't do a good job in identifying overall direction on the day. I kept getting into SQQQ thinking this was going to be the time it starts to fall, right? Downtrend below this blue EMA line and start falling, just like it did aggressively below here, or before here, sorry. And yeah, I was waiting for that move and it never came, and that's exactly what my problem was. I wasn't going with the new direction on the day. Once the NASDAQ started trending above this blue EMA line, if you guys can see, it did a great job of using it anytime it came back down below as a support to keep making higher highs and rallying. And anytime it did fall below it, you can see that it was pretty brief, so I should have waited for more signs of a sell-off if I was going to think I was going to get into SQQ. But obviously these little break below the little breakouts below the blue EMA line, they weren't long at all, and it just quickly kept riding it up for higher highs and higher lows. So all day it rallied. I unfortunately had to stop trading around 9:30 like I usually do, 9 o'clock, because I had to go to work. But yeah, there is no excuses today. I was read off of just sloppy trading and not following my basically best practices, right? I kept trying to predict the bottom, and like I always tell you guys, go with direction on the day until the direction changes. So that's where I went wrong for sure, and I need to just make sure I do a better job of capitalizing on days like this, because the market really rallied today and our account was still green at the end of the day, but it could have definitely been a lot nicer of a day. And you don't get days like this every day, right? It's good to take advantage of days like this when you can, because there are some days, like I'm pretty sure it was one day earlier this week where we did find a lot of chop, right? The market was really trading sideways. There was no big move, and not too much money could have been made, in my opinion, and as easily as something like this. So yeah, that's what I want to leave you guys with. I hope you guys all had a great first week to your year of trading, and I really wish you guys the best for the rest of the year. So thank you guys all so much for tuning back in, and I would love it if you guys would tune back on in next week. Take it easy and have a great weekend.